What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today, I'm staring at it. I'm here with something that, honestly, I never thought I'd own. I don't entirely understand it, but it's really, really amazing. And here it is, my 1959 Rambler American Classic. This was made to look like well, what was it, man? It's a station wagon, obviously, but it has no glass back here. There was like a delivery special version of this that was supposed to be made. It never really happened. There were only like, I don't know, 3 or 4 of these ever built like this. Like I said, this is a clone. It's not actually one of the originals, but I found the previous owner. I found the guy that built this car, and he was more than happy to tell me all about it. I also found out that this vehicle was in Motor Trend Online a while back. So I'm going to put a link below this video so you can check it out and see what it used to look like. She was, you know, before the fire, back in her glory days, I would say. Now, John used to own this car. He ended up selling it to somebody else, I think several years ago, he said. And all he knows is that it was pretty much used just for car shows. And that's it. We don't know what the fire was, where, how. I don't understand any of it. What I do understand is that what's sitting under the hood used to be a 454. So this big block is no longer a 454, it's now a 482. It's got Hank the Crank crankshaft, Carrillo rods, Ross 8-to-1 pistons, a Crowder cam, 304 536 lift, 1.7 rockers, and stainless steel valves with a Melling high volume oil pump and a Missouri electric water pump. We have twin 750 Demon carburetors. Right below that, we have nitrous injection. Below that, we have a BDS 8-71 blower producing 14 PSI with a 1-to-1. Guys, that means the pulley on this, you see how giant this pulley is? That pulley is the same size as the crankshaft pulley, okay? 1-to-1. Obviously, electric water pump. We have a custom BDS manifold underneath that. The heads are GM 990s. They're ported and polished. MSD Pro Billet ignition. Somewhere back here is where that used to be. I think you can still kind of see that right there. This thing is over 1,000 horsepower, guys. On just the blower alone, he told me 866 horsepower. But you throw a 250 shot of NOS on this, oh, that's a whole nother world. That's a whole different car, guys. It does have 355 gears. It's tubbed. You got Posi, you got Mickey Thompson's in the back. You got a 14-gallon fuel cell. Guys, the list of upgrades on this car is absolutely incredible and insane. The car makes 866 horsepower at 6,600 RPM. And, you know, you push that little nitrous button and you got a bottle in there, and suddenly this car wakes up. It does have a custom 2x3 frame underneath it. The frame is not the original frame to this car. And if we climb under there, you can see it's got a solid front axle and it's got leaf springs. There you go. She's a bit of a beast. This car, he spent a lot of time building it, and obviously he spent a ton of money building this car, an absolute insane amount of money building this car into what it currently is today. As you can see, a lot of smoke damage. Is all of this going to clean up? Is the car going to come back to life? As you can see, I've tested a few spots, and I think it will, guys. We got Summit Racing. He said that the transmission is a 700 R4, and he put every upgrade that you could buy, I think he said, from Summit Racing into that transmission. He said that transmission is brutal. Same thing with the rear differential, absolutely brutal. If you look, there's a sticker in here that says Dutchman Custom Alloy Axles. Now, we need to get this thing on a lift. We'll do that for sure at another time. It's got a, I think, a Kevlar transmission blanket. It's got a drive shaft safety loop. You've got competition engineering for the drive shaft as well. BDS for the blower. There's a lot going on here. And he said they used to terrorize the streets in Florida with asphalt misfits. So there you go. I think what you guys are really wanting, though, is to find out if it runs. And I'm going to be more than happy to share that with you because, well, if I could stop dropping the keys. I have the keys. And you're probably also wondering why I would buy a track car. Because obviously this is a drag race car, guys. That's all it is. It's made for drag racing, not for the street. At least that's what everybody in the comment section has been telling me. However, the guy that built the car, John, told me he actually drove this car all over the place. He said it's absolutely streetable. It's definitely something you can drive on the street. So I'm gonna climb in to my race car, and we have this roll bar that goes up here. There's a pin that goes in it that's laying behind the seat. The steering wheel comes off because, well, race car, right? Take your pick of keys, put it in the ignition, and what do you find? Oh, race car stuff, fuel, that's necessary. Water pump, also necessary. Give it a couple pumps, and off she goes. And as you can see, it is cold. It is not warmed up at all. We'll go ahead and kick the radiator fans on for good measure, along with the lights. Oh, we have lights. Yes, we do. And we also have signals, and they actually work, believe it or not. We have working crank windows, and of course, the removable steering wheel. So, let's open this up and try not to hit my Corvette. You guys want to hear that exhaust? Yep. The exhaust has a little rattle to it. Some of the mounts have come off. There is definitely smoke damage on the inside as well. You can see it everywhere, man. The smoke damage is all over the place. We even have a screen up here, used to anyway, a pile screen for a backup camera. You've got a lot of heat insulation up top, and of course the roll bar. You've got the harnesses. You've got the roll bar over here as well. So, does it run? Yes, it does. It absolutely runs. I think the heat definitely messed with the belt a little bit. You can see her flopping around pretty good down there. I'm sure she needs to be tightened up a little bit better than that. And then these throttle blades, well, they're not really throttle blades. These open for the air breathers when you're hitting the gas, but these are vacuum operated. You take this off, they close. See? And if I hook the vacuum back up, they open. Now, he did that because some guy almost killed a bunch of people when they were out running the streets. He had his throttle linkage hooked directly up to these, and it got stuck. This part got stuck, and he was full throttle, couldn't stop. So, yeah, he's got it hooked up to vacuum. So there it is. Yes, it runs. Yes, it moves. Take a listen to that. And take a look at these massive wheels and tires. It's got a killer suspension setup on it, guys. It does have coilovers in the back. You could raise it up if you want to. It has the 14-gallon fuel cell. He said if you put some 120 in her, she really spruces up. He said you put some 120 in it, she really comes to life. We've got some melted plastic. I'm not sure what happened there. I guess maybe the hood scoop or something. Yeah, it's really, it's really melted on there. From what I saw, it looks like insurance paid out about $45,000 on this car, which is absolutely incredible. I don't know how much it would cost to build this setup, but I'm thinking the guy probably got a pretty fair deal. There's your ignition coil right there. We've got a boost timing master. We've got a 6M2L, and then something else over there. I don't know what that is, guys. What I can tell you is I'm getting myself covered in soot playing around with this car. So, $13,000 is what I paid for my very own race car. I legitimately have a race car now, guys. Like I said, what am I going to do with it? I don't know. I don't know. I saw it and I had to have it. I won the high bid at just over $8,000. I think it was, I don't know, $8,500, $8,800, something like that. And they came back and they said, no, we want 13. Well, here's the deal. I went ahead and I did the buy it now for 13. Little did I know that there was another person that had already contacted Insurance Auto Auctions, and they were waiting on a shipping quote. They were waiting on the shipping quote, and as soon as they got the quote back, they were going to buy it. So when I called IAA and said I need to arrange transport from Maryland to Oklahoma, they called me by a different name. And I was like, no, my name is not Mr. Lee. And they're like, really? He looked at the account, he said, oh! He said, you're that YouTuber. Oh man, he said, dude, everybody in the office has been talking about this car. And then he asked me if I knew Weston Champlin. And I said, yes, I know Weston Champlin. And we had a nice conversation about this car and about YouTube. And the guy said, if you had waited another half hour, most likely this car would have been sold to the other guy. So you snooze, you lose, man. I went ahead and got it for the 13, and I think I feel like I got a steal of a deal on this car. I am exceptionally happy with it thus far. Unfortunately, I can't really drive it anywhere right now. I found out that the TV cable is disconnected at the transmission. Obviously, a 700R4 with a disconnected TV cable, driving it is asking for trouble. So we're not going to be able to drive it in this video. But in the next video, we will get it in the shop, and hopefully we can get the TV cable connected. Hopefully we can take it for a spin. Why don't I show you guys these gauges here, and you can tell me what you think. You got your volts, you've got your water temp, you got your oil pressure, you've got your boost gauge, eject, we're not going to touch that. You got your boost retard, which I don't really understand how this stuff works. So if anybody can help me understand what this is and what I should be doing with it, well, let me know. You've got a button right here. Don't know what that does either, but I know what that button does. And I also know there's a line back here. Where did it go? Right there. I know what that goes to. Nitrous. Yes. So there it is, man. I think what I would like to do now, aside from rev it up, I love revving it up. I really do. We can turn off the lights. We can turn off the radiator fans. We can turn off the water pump, off the fuel, and then I think we can actually shut her down. We're not going anywhere, at least not today. What I would like to get done in this video is see how much of this is going to clean up and how much of it is actually damaged from the fire. And here's that pin that I told you about. It's a safety pin. You got to push the button in the middle to actually open it. It's like that on both sides. Doors open and close very well. I have no doubt that some of this is not going to come off, but I'm hopeful. So I'm going to set you guys up on a tripod. I'm going to start up the water hose. I hope this doesn't pull any paint or anything off. These stickers are not known to come off easily, but since they stuck it onto fire damage, please, maybe, just maybe, it'll come off okay. There is definitely some sticker residue being left behind. Good Lord. Wow. Man, that is no joke. The sticky stuff they use on this is incredible. We'll have to get some goof off or something to get that out of here. But I mean, already I'm covered in soot. it's getting a little dark, guys. Roxy came to visit us. Ain't that right, Roxy? Yeah, she came to visit. She's probably ready to go in the house. It's hot out here. I don't know, guys. It is getting a little dark. It cleaned up a bit. The snake eyes came out all right. Yeah, a lot of it not so much, man. It's but what I found is now that it's nighttime, there's these lights under here. And I thought this was cool because I didn't know about this. But look at that. You got a light, and there's, well, I'll let you guys read it for yourselves right there. You could pause the video if you want to. But this may be something I need to take down to Brian at the auto spot. I don't know if he'd even be interested in trying to see what he can do with the paint. I mean, there's some spots that are just, it's just too bad. But that's fine. Don't drink that, Roxy. That's soap water. But honestly, though, like the majority of it came back pretty dang nice. It'll never be what it used to be, but that's okay. And no, I'm not going to go get it repainted or anything like that, man. This is now part of this car's history. In my opinion, it's part of the car's character. Now, you know what I mean? It was on fire. Now, we got to come up with a name for this car. I'm going to let you guys drop some comments below. Give me some ideas what you think a good name would be for the old girl. I don't know. First thing that always comes to mind is like Christine when we talk about a fire car, man. But I think Christine's already been done, and Christine sure wasn't what this car is. That's a fact. If you guys want to see Brian at the auto spa take a crack at this, well, drop a comment below and tell me, and I'll see. Maybe he could do some dry ice blasting or something. I don't know if that would really, I don't know. There's a lot of, it's pretty rough, guys. I'm surprised that it runs as good as it does. I'm gonna work on these wheels just a little bit. I do want to see if it still runs though, because I got the engine kind of wet. The good news is though, is now when I'm touching the outside anyway, I'm not gonna get covered in soot anymore. But the interior would be something else that Brian would probably be better suited at handling. He's got all the special equipment and all the guys out there that could get it done for us and make it look nice. Let's see, and ignition. There we go. I'm surprised it's running. I was worried that I may have got the distributor wet. You can actually kind of see out the windows now, which is nice. Need to clean the inside just a little bit. Same here. If you get that inside clean, it actually come out all right, guys. Be able to see out it's not too much trouble at all. Sounds stout. Oh man, I've had half the neighborhood coming out here. Talk to me about this car, man. When they heard it running earlier, everybody wanted to come in. They're like, "Is that red car?" I said, "Yeah, it is." We'll let it spin some of that moisture off there. Golly, man. Back in the day, this is a beautiful ride. I think it still is. It's not as pretty as it used to be, but it's still a nice looking ride, man. And for $13,000, you got oh, I forgot to tell y'all, the front end, the nose flips over. This isn't like traditionally stuck together. The whole front of the car folds forward and onto the ground. You take those screws out of the side and you lift the whole front off of the car. Also, this car had a 8th mile ET of 6.0. You know what that means, right? A 6.0 8th mile ET. It's a 9-second car, guys. It's legit. This is a 9-second quarter-mile car that you could drive on the street with lights and signals, no windshield wipers. You better think twice before messing with this one. That's all I'm gonna tell you. You better think twice. Probably around 9.5, maybe 9.7 seconds in the quarter mile would be my guess on this one with a 6.0 quarter mile. I'm gonna clean up these wheels as best I can. I'm gonna let her run for just a little bit, get the juices flowing, and after that, I think we're gonna conclude this video. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm beat. I've been out here working in this heat all day long, and I'm just ready to go home. So She cleaned up. Hopefully you can see those wheels. They came out pretty nice. Everything else, it is what it is, man. It's just how it's gonna have to be for now. I think she looks pretty good. She's been running for quite a while, probably half hour. Just sitting here idling, purring like a kitten. Let's see what all the temps are sitting at. All the gauges. Alternator looks good. Temperature is just at 180. Oil pressure is at 40. And then the vacuum, which doesn't count. We can turn our lights off. Fuel, fans, kill the switch. That's a wrap. Surprisingly, the inside of this car is not nearly as hot as I would really expect it to be. Whew. Okay, well, there it is. There it was. I'm done. I am literally just dripping sweat everywhere, man. I got to get into air conditioning, get some Gatorade. If you enjoyed this video, stay tuned for the next one. Get it on the lift, take a look underneath it, see what all she got going on under there. Maybe fix that TV cable and take it for a ride. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. Drop your comments down below. Subscribe to the channel. Until next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.